We were just talking about this. Most people think that January is the peak time to get motivated and set goals, but experts are now saying that the month of March is actually the best time to make positive change.
Yeah, that's because we are no longer focused on that long, busy holiday season. We're more self-aware, and also the extra time can help us get a clearer understanding of what is realistic for us. Clinical psychologist and founder of In Practice Psychology, Michelle Chung, joins us now. Tell us, Michelle, why March is the new January.
Well, January is a time where there's so much emotional spillover from the holidays, right? We're exhausted. We're also really motivated. And so we're coming into the new year with this ideal version of ourselves. Like, this is exactly how we want to be. And we make these lofty, lofty goals that, frankly, we're not going to be able to keep.
I love that you said emotional spillover. I thought that was such a smart term. What if you've already sort of failed at your January goal? How do you keep that emotional spillover in a box?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, let's erase that term failed. Right? We want to look at these mistakes and maybe these goals that we let go of as information. This is data for us to be able to figure out, how do we want to do things differently? Like, what is working for us and what doesn't, and how can we adjust that a little bit?
Yeah, failure is learning. You know, I think that's a good way to reframe it. Like, what did you learn from that setback? What about the fact that March, the sun starts to come out, people are wearing their spring colors? It feels like the turn of the season is a natural time for us to reset. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I feel that way too, right? Well, the wonderful thing is, with the sun coming out, days getting longer, we naturally get more serotonin, which affects our mood. It affects our circadian rhythm, which helps us sleep better and have more energy. And just daytime in general is a signal for our brain to say, hey, let's do something. Let's get active. Let's be productive. And so it really does affect the way that we approach things, the amount of energy. March is the time.
Our hopefulness.
Right.
Yes.
How do we keep that energy, though? And for example, what if we lose motivation like 3 months from now?
And this might happen, and it is okay, because what we want to do is, instead of looking at our goals for a year from now, we want to look at things a month from now, maybe even a week from now. And what we want to do is, every time at those check-in points, you just reset again. You look at what's working right now. You look at, what do I want to do a little bit differently? And then, okay, if things are working, keep it. If things you need to adjust, let's adjust it. But you don't want to have those goals that are so lofty. You want to start with the least, I say, unimpressionable, like what seems almost unimportant. You want to go to the gym? Put on your sneakers. Walk out to the corner. You know what? That's almost like, that's not even impressive, but that's how it starts.
With small things.
It does.
It reminds me a lot of what we were talking about yesterday with Jen Marcy. To-do list. You've got the to-do list, but the da-da helps you celebrate those small wins.
And why that's psychologically so important.
What about, Michelle, this idea of getting other people involved and to be supportive of one another? How does that help us with maintaining our goals?
Well, that's great, because research is really showing now that the social pressure, especially in a positive direction, is one of the best things. And especially in springtime, right, where people are just being more social, more active. This is the time where, if you want to get a buddy to come and do something with you, set that goal together. There's nothing better than an accountability partner in you reaching your goals together.
I love the idea of community motivation.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, it does really make it more fun and more powerful. An accountability partner. Michelle Chung, as always, thank you for your expertise and your wonderful spring advice.
Yes, so happy to have you on Daily again. And keep it right here, folks. You are watching NBC News Daily. Much more news straight ahead.
In today's mental health check, we are throwing it back to January. Be honest, how are your New Year's resolutions going? If you're struggling, you're not alone.
So, 19 days, no buy, no shopping. I've been fine. And then now people start sending me links when things are on sale. That's a little rough.
That's me. I made a goal to stop shopping, and it was tough. And most people think motivation peaks in January, but this time of year is when change can become more likely. So how do you get back on track? Michelle Chung joins us now with some tips. She's a clinical psychologist and the founder of In Practice Psychology. Michelle, great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Many people may have dropped their goals by now. I'm still going. I'm still not buying new clothes. But why do you think it happens to begin with?
I mean, it's congrats, bravo, that you're still going, because I think a lot of us have dropped some of those New Year's resolutions and goals. And I think a lot of it really does happen because we start off coming out of the holidays in this emotional, I feel like a hangover, right? There's so much expectations, so much going on, and then all of a sudden there's this reset, January 1st. And we have these lofty goals, these idealized selves of who we want to be, and we create these situations that frankly are not going to happen.
So what makes spring prime time to kind of bloom in some new goals?
So there's some psychological reasons and some biological reasons. Biologically, the sun is out. Days are longer, right? That increases levels of serotonin. It'll make you happier, your mood better. Then your circadian rhythm is better, so you get to sleep more, you get more energy. And when our brain sees daylight, it looks at that as, hey, it's time to get active. Let's do something here.
So if someone at home, at work, has said, oops, I already dropped the ball on some of my goals, what can they do? How can they reset?
Well, I think first I want to really urge people, let go of the word failure. Failure is what's going to stop you right there, because what we need to remember is that our brain learns from making mistakes, and therefore it's just data. You're just taking in information, saying, what can I tweak? What do I need to do differently here? What have I learned? And so you have to remember that our brain loves big ideas, ambitious big ideas, but in a lot of ways, if there's chronic strain, it's going to push back.
If the goal is hard to reach, it's going to be even harder to get motivated. So it's March. If someone wants to set a new goal, what can they do?
I always say you want to start small, right? Start with whatever is going to lead you to that first step as easiest as possible. And that first step has to be almost unimpressive. If you want to go to the gym, put on your sneakers and just walk out the door. Go to just the corner, you know? You met your goal right there. You want to get the ball moving as much as possible. And that is probably the very first step that you want to make, right? Then your brain starts to re-identify yourself as not somebody who just keeps trying. It re-identifies you as somebody who gets things done.
I love that. So you're saying take the small step. It doesn't have to be go to the gym 5 days a week. It's put the sneakers on and head out the door.
Absolutely. And you want to think, don't say, I'm going to go to the gym every day for the next year. That sounds impossible.
Big. Yeah.
Right. And so you want to start small. Like, let's look at just 3 days this week, right? Let's look at these timelines that are shorter and that are more feasible to success.
To reach. I love it. Michelle Chung setting us up for a good spring. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Well, we got a lot more news ahead. You're watching NBC News Daily.